What's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. You're joining me and Rob Fuller again for another 48-hour session, and this time we're at Woodlands Tackle and Fishery Thirsk. If you can hear that, that was a big fish boshing in the background there. There's a reason that we've come to this fishery, and that's the main aim of getting Rob's first sturgeon. Yeah, there's some big ones in here. I've just seen one got caught on my walk round. It was 24 pounds. I think there's some diamondbacks in here, but I'm not sure there's the other ones. Absolutely lovely fish to target, mainly for the sturgeon, but there are carp in here as well. Yeah, I've just been having a chat with some lads on the way around, and they said there's carp in here up to 39, so if we get out bigger than that, or up to that, I'll be absolutely amazed. No, there is a tackle shop on site. I'll put the rules up now so you can have a quick nosy at them, but you do have to use Fishery pellets here. It's quite difficult to find. If you put the full address in for the fishery, it should take you direct here, but you'll have to go through like a holiday park first. Yeah, it's got loads of holiday lodges and lets and stuff, so you like just stick to the path on the right once you turn off the main road and follow it all the way down to the bottom. There's a sports bar as well, which I might frequent later if I get a PB. There's loads of fish cruising about. Weather conditions look all right for this next couple of days for us. It's not raining for once, mate. Give it a chance. Oh, I can't believe it. Every time we've been out in the last like 12 months, it's been absolutely chucking it down. Yeah. We had that nice weather at Cudmore like last year, early last year, and then we're all right. April, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to break this video into two parts. The first 24 hours, I'm going to do a little bit of a fishery review for you all, and then part two is going to be all about the fishing and the techniques and stuff like that. In this first video, I'll skim over some of the techniques that we're doing, but the second half of the video is going to be more about how we're targeting it and things like that. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, now's your chance to do so you don't miss part two of this video. Any thoughts, Rob? What are you thinking about the peg and stuff? The peg's all right. You don't get a lot of water. No. So I brought my 12-foot rods, and I think they'll be a bit too much. So if you've got 10 foots, 9 foots, bring them. Yeah, it's a very tight fishery. It's a converted match lake, and I think most of the lakes here are, aren't they? I think so, yeah. I think it used to be a big match complex, and they're branching out into the specimen fishing. So yeah, it looks all right. The water's blue. It's got that dye in it, so I'm not expecting much weed. No. But every cast is going to be an underarm chuck, I think. There's loads of fish cruising about. That's probably between 8 and 15 pounds. Rob's mate fished it last weekend, and he says that it's a pretty tough fishery. He's quite a good angler, your mate, isn't he? He's all right, yeah. He got a 20-pound common, and I think the rest of the lake was pretty quiet, and he were in that top corner peg up there, and there's not a lot of water to that. Like when you first come on, the first two pegs, you get loads of water. It's peg 1 and 2, and the rest of them are quite tight. So if you like a cast, then one and two's for you, but the rest of them it's really nice in close margin fishing. Yeah. I mean, margin fishing's best for sturgeon anyway. If you've watched some of my other sturgeon videos on the channel, you'll know that sturgeon just pretty much hug the margins. The pigs of the water, they'll just cruise around hoovering anything up that they can. So they're not difficult to catch by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think there's that many in this lake, so you know they can only be caught so often. I will say, folks, if you want to contact this fishery, you're probably better asking a question on the Facebook page, because I've sent an email and Rob sent an email and they've not got back to us, have they? No, I'll maybe ring tackle shop. Yeah, or ring the tackle shop. I think the number's on the Facebook page as well. I don't think there's any numbers on the website. So to book on this lake, all you need to do is go online and you just book slots, don't you? Yeah, you book the specific peg. Yeah. So you can't have a walk round and then book on unless you do it and it's open. So if you just go on the website and then just go onto the peg what you want, and there's a map there as well, I think, on the website, so you'll be able to look roughly what sort of water you get and what type of fishing you might want to do. Yeah, it's good in that respect that you can select the peg that you want. If you've had a good session on a peg, you can book that peg in advance. It seems like they do get booked up quite quickly. Yeah, I looked at pegs 1 and 2 and it's pretty much booked up solid for months. Yeah. So I think they're the decent pegs, but I personally don't like booking onto a peg, and I like a draw or going and walking around and stuff first to see where fish are, but it's not a big lake, so I think we've got a chance of it, to be fair. So there's single pegs and there's double pegs. It's slightly cheaper for the double pegs. Obviously me and Rob have booked onto this double today, so we can have a little bit of a social and a chill out. It's nice weather for it, so looking forward to that. We'll do a bit of a cook up like we normally do, get some toasties on and some barbecue food, so something to look forward to, because the fish are about 3 foot away from us. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we've got quiet in us, mate. Right, folks, without further ado, that's a bit of background on the fishery. Let's get into the fishing itself. We're going to get our stuff out of the car, barrow it round. It's quite a bit of a trek round from the car park, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And the tackle shop.
Yeah.
So we'll get on with that now. Get set up and we'll resume. So this bay is actually unfishable. Look at them all at the top here, cruising around. They know, don't they? They're not stupid, are they?
They're feeding here because salt water's murky as well.
Yeah, they're definitely feeding. They're feeding up bottom. There's a good sign for fishing the solid bags.
Definitely in these reeds. Oh, that were a ghost, I think. It's not white tail come out.
Look at it, it's feeding down there on the bottom. It's proper, look at it, proper digging up the bottom. They love this bay. Yeah, it is a ghosty, yeah. Little koi. They're not big though, are they?
No, well...
Looks like there's some smaller fish in here as well. It's not a Specie lake. So this lake is actually called Kingfisher, and it is classed as a Specie lake, but yeah, that's much bigger. That's probably a low double. But yeah, hot carp around here out of the way. Don't blame them. No, they're not stupid. Yeah, so it's fishery pellets only. I was going to use my own baits, but I'm going to put their fishery pellets in solid bags, which has thrown me off a bit, but got to crack on. So there's actually a sports bar here and a cafe as well, and that's the tackle shop. This is a car park. Oh, I'm sweating, mate. Right, so are we flipping over left and right, or are you going to let me have best peg because you beat me last time? I feel like I need some kind of handicap. So Rob's going to fish the right hand side because he's got 12-foot rods. So he can actually get round this margin here and he can fish it down this margin. Now, as I've said to you, sturgeon hug margins. So with the breeze blowing into this side here, it's going to be well oxygenated. There's a good amount of reeds sticking out and stuff like that for them to potentially feed on. It don't look like there was anybody on this peg last night.
Don't think so.
So I don't think we need to be worried about it being overfed.
I were here at 10:30 and there were nobody on it then.
So for those of you that don't know, there are certain regulations to actually holding sturgeon and keeping sturgeon in lakes. You need to be licensed, and you also can't be a certain distance from any running water or stream or river. There's regulations in that regard. What's your opinion on why a fishery had only let you use fishery pellets, Rob? Do you reckon it's for the fish's health, or do you reckon it's to drive people into the tackle shop?
I reckon it is more the latter. Because the pellets that they had there, they were just bagged
the
up.
Basic, yeah.
No basic, yeah. So yeah, I get it. It's fish safety. But the majority of people now, they're going to be bringing DNA, mainline, and everything. So
I mean, it's not making them that healthy, is it? Because there's dead fish at margin. But I did email them saying, can I use my own pellets? You know, I give them a breakdown of the proteins and the fats and the fibres that are in the pellets to see whether it's suitable. And like I said, I didn't get a response, but that's a cool rod pod, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had it for quite a bit. I've had lockdown.
I like the look at that.
It's good, isn't it? We're only like 65 quid.
Only.
Yeah.
Mine's like
sorry.
Mine's an NGT.
A tenner if I laugh.
It's good when you get things second hand, isn't it, mate? Yeah. Somebody donate it to you after watching the channel. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm going to use my unhooking mat today there in the middle because it's catfish and sturgeon size.
The yellow bits in tree is just it right. I think that's where Westy's going to put a rig. This fishing area, I think they're cruising round. It's a small peg, but they've got plenty of places to go on, little channels in this lake. So if we're clever with his lines and his line lay, so we're not getting loads of liners, I think we'll do all right. They'll be able to pass over us like we're not even here. Gonna have a little lead up at my swim. Not much, it's tiny. It'll take me 3 leads, like cast, to get across all my swim. But I just want to have a little feel about the bottom. So on my spod rod, I've just got a loop that's big enough for my spom and a lead on, like twisted figure of 8, and you can just loop it on and off. Quick change, nice and easy, and you can go from leading about to spomming up in seconds. So you just pop it straight through the eye, come round again, and just loops back through. So yeah, if you leave it like that as well, it's easy to get off. Then just wet your braid before you go out, otherwise you'll get tangles. But yeah, steady away, see what we can find. Just have a few casts. It's not really a cast in here, is it? It's just a chuck. It's clean as a whistle all the way across there. There's a bit of weed on bottom, not much there. Oh mate, nice gravel that. So just here, that far in front, that is lovely gravel. Just a little flick there. Donk. So that's a spot for me. Gravel, 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 all the way across. Yeah. Right, that's one of my rods.
Fishing £15 main line today. What main line are you on, Rob? 18?
18, yeah.
I think the next time I need to change my reel line, I'll put £18 on. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get broke on £15 here, but 3 1/4 test curve these rods. So they're a nice sturdy rod. Not that we're chucking far, but obviously sturgeon are an absolute dead weight, so you need something heavy duty enough. It's going to be really quick and easy to get fishing once I've set up. It's just a matter of tying a couple of solid bags up. If you're not sure how to tie solid bags up, there's a full tutorial on the channel, so I'll put a link to that in the top right hand corner for you. So I've been getting quite a bit of grief on how untidy my bivvy is normally, so when I've got myself set up, I'm going to tidy it up and I'm going to show you how neat I actually can be. So something to look forward to, that folks. So I'm going to be using Corda solid bag leaders today, which are like a really heavy duty braid type material is what I'd describe it as. Very supple but also heavy, so they sink. So I'm just going to do a figure of 8 loop knot there in the end of my line, cinching that down, nice big loop, and that's just going to loop to loop with these leaders, and I'm going to do that on both. And what that allows is it allows you to quick change between the leaders. So I've bought 2 packs of 3, so I've got 6 there ready to go, which I'm not going to be casting out that often, but it's good to have ones in reserve like through the night, so you're not messing about during the night. Perfect, nice strong knot, main line's okay. So even though I'm using Fishery pellets, I am going to use my own additives. I've got some yeast, which will be coming to the powders range. I'm trying that out in one of the bags, and I've got some pure insect proteins as well, so I'll be putting them in the solids. I've got some potent sweet candy glaze there, which is a really strong sweet glaze. And I've also, Rob's asked me to bring some of the crab glaze. It's got a bit battered in this bucket, but there you go, potent crab and crayfish.
Ooh, let's have a smell.
Go on, take the lid off, have a good whiff.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's very strong.
I'm not tasting it.
No.
Maybe after a beer.
I've also, come and have a smell of this. I've got some pure liver.
Oh, go on then.
That's actually really nice and strong. That's strong.
I'll have some of that on me.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be using, those pure additives. Right, let's start putting this rig together. I'm going to go with one of the 3 ounce Avid carp leads, and I'm going to put my hook length on first. This is tied up in a bit of a D-rig. Can you see that? So that can slide out the way if you hook into a fish, but also allows you to floss your bait on there. Right, okay, so this next bit's a little bit tricky, because what we want to do is we want to put the meat on the hair, but we also want it to stay on the hair. And this bait floss or braid can cut through meat really easily. So we're going to take a little bit of rig tubing. We're going to put our little stopper on first, then our rig tubing onto that baiting needle. Then we're going to get our meat, so find a nice sized one, hook our floss on, and then push it all back down, including that little end stopper over there. Okay, now you want to take a hair stop, put it on the rig, pull that back down. We're going to tie this onto our micro swivel there, and then we're going to get this in a bag, get it out. Simple as that, folks. That's my little spam rig. trim off the tag ends. Well, there we go. Probably about 3 or 4 inch. So we've got our Fishery pellets here. These look like a high fibre, low feed pellet to me. So first solid bag. I'm just going to underarm this out. I'm just going to put some insect proteins in it first. So that's a fish stimulant. I'm going to put my spam in. Probably. My God, it's noisy, this lake, isn't it? Fill our bag up a bit. That lead to the back of the bag if I can. And fill it up. That'll do us. Lick it a tiny bit. Twist it up. Oh, just grab that bag for me, mate, if you when you put your rod down. Just gonna let the air out of this bag. And we can stick them corners down. That was a rushed solid bag, that, folks. So that's just a little bit of PVA tape there, just holding it on the leader. And that's a lovely little solid bag. And I'm going to inject that with some smelly, potent crab and crayfish. Oh, that's what stinks. There's another dead fish down here, mate. Yeah. That's what stinks. I'm going to have to get that out. Dead fish all over this lake, folks. And you can see how, because that lead's on the back, it'll fall like that with my hook bait in the corner, untangled. And I'm actually just going to pick a bit of a hole out there. I've got my sweet candy. That's going in. Look at that. That's what you want. Smell the sweet candy, Rob. What do you think of that?
It smells better than dead fish.
Yeah, it does.
That smells gorgeous.
Right, let's get this one out. Right, well, we're fishing, folks. But we are, unfortunately, surrounded by the smell of dead fish. And it is ridiculously strong, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's horrendous.
I would just nearly see me.
We're just gagging, yeah.
Great.
Absolutely gagging. There you go. Well, it's a bit neater. Obviously, you need to bear in mind, folks, I've got camera equipment and stuff, so I can't have a perfectly uniform bivvy like everybody else. It's not really a big bivvy, that either, is it?
No, it's not great. Well, it's a banger, to be fair, but it's because your bed's quite low as well, and it's
a massive bed chair. That it's probably too big for that bivvy. Well, folks, do you know what I think is going to sort us out here? Getting the Lucky Crocs on. Even though I did blank the last session in the Lucky Crocs. Here we go. I'll have to put them in sports mode if we get a fish. Yeah, exactly. This one's a bit of a chunk though. No, it's probably about £7. Something like that. 7, £8. Looks like another big dead carp over there in the margin. That's a whopper, that one, isn't it? Maybe they need like a big aerator or something to boost the oxygen levels or whatever. I think so, yeah. I really don't like how the wind's died off. It's ridiculously still, ridiculously bright. It's probably the worst fishing conditions that you can get this.
When you're not allowed to fish on top.
When you're not allowed to fish on the top. You'd absolutely nail me on the top, there's no doubt about that. But we could fish zigs, which again, like we've said, we're going to give a go tomorrow. But for this afternoon, we'll just hope that they come on the feed a bit later on. Absolutely loads of wildlife around here though. There's tons of dragonflies, there's huge hornets flying about.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Which is quite unusual to see this far north. You usually only get hornets down south, but there's definitely a nest of hornets somewhere around here. Well, I've just taken a little bit more time and I'm just making up some really nice looking solid bags here, ready to go out. So I can stick them corners. So on the next cast they can go out. Little perfect packets. I'll just inject them with goo I'm going to put one closer to the margin down here, tight into that island on my next cast. Just a little tip, folks, if you are fishing in really hot weather like this, the one thing that I recommend you not doing is putting loads of bait out. You want little small traps, little small packets of feed. You don't want to be spodding out, you don't want to be piling bait out at all, because there's lower oxygen levels and the fish just aren't feeding the same. They'll be sat up in the water, they'll not be bothered about that feed. So I recommend little small amounts of food, or even single up baits. Even single up baits are fine. PVA bags, small PVA bags like I'm using, no bigger than this. It's literally 2 or 3 inches, little tiny bag. That's all you need. Right, I'm going to get this left hand rod recast and I'm going to put it tighter. I'm going to leave the other one. I'm going to get this tighter into the edge. So I've been busy. Well, it's been absolutely red hot and we're both sweating our back out, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, I'm absolutely dripping.
Absolutely horrendous. We're trying to stay hydrated and that. We've got sun cream on, but we're still being burnt to a frazzle. I've just been busy and I've just been sat tying up solid bags. So I've got 3 absolutely perfect solids there ready to go out. All tied, leads on the back. And they'll just drop down, bang, sit on the bottom, lead flat, hook baits down here somewhere on one of the sides. And these have got insect meal and they've also got yeast. So that one's yeast, insect meal, and that's just a mix of the fishery pellets, because that's all you're allowed to use here. But you can still make it your own, and it doesn't say that you can't add your own additives. So that's what we've done with the insect proteins and just glugging them on the inside of the bag. It's cooling off a bit now actually. We've got a bit of cloud cover, a little bit. And I'm hopeful for a bite. There's like a bar here that comes out and they've been cruising on top of that bar all day. It's very, very shallow. It's like probably maybe a foot deep, something like that, coming out from the island. I've just on the drop off of that, to be honest, and I've got another rig tight into the far island there, really tight in, probably 18 inch from that far bank, if that. But I'm confident for a tea time bite, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're good for like 5-6 o'clock when it starts just getting a little bit cooler. They've been moving around all day, they're going to want to feed. Like, I'm hungry already and I've not moved much. So they've been swimming around all day and they all want feeding. So hopefully they get on as bait.
Hook baits, DNA baits, Secret 7. I've got a couple, I'm using a couple of my wafters, and Rob's using Northern Specials, the red ones. These smell absolutely great, these, to be fair. And these are just a very subtle wafter. So that's what we're on. While it's quiet, we've been really productive. We've tied up a load of PVA bags. I've got 3 ready to go. Rob's got 4 ready to go. So if we need to get a PVA bag back out there, we can. It's all sorted, ready to go. So I think while we're messing about, while we're waiting, I think we'll have a bit of a cook-up, folks.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I'm thinking I've got us some skewers.
Skewers?
I think something a little bit light. Kebabs.
Well, you won't hear me say this often, but I'd eat a salad in this seat. But yeah, I'll have a skewer. You know, there's that, yeah.
I can get you a salad if you prefer a salad.
No.
Right, let's get some skewers on. Do you want sweet and smoky barbecue beef, or do you want cheese and bacon beef?
Ooh, cheese and bacon beef. That sounds
cheese and bacon beef.
Sounds a bit good.
Oh, we're getting there. Look at those. I reckon we'll put them in a wrap, yeah. Beef it up a bit. Bit of a kebab wrap.
Kebab wrap.
I suppose it's just kebab. It tastes like a glorified sausage.
Not bad though.
We're just losing the light a little bit now, so I thought I'd do a little bit of a quick update. I don't think there's anybody else caught anything on the lake apart from that fella catching that sturgeon this morning.
Yeah, that was about 11:15.
So, a fella on the opposite side down the bottom, he had a sturgeon about 11 o'clock this morning. Other than that, nothing else has been caught on the lake. Even though surface fishing isn't allowed, there's been some young lads trying bread and stuff like that up the top. They've not even had anything on the bread, have they?
No, we tried.
They've definitely given it a good go. They've been up and down here, there and everywhere, trying for different carbs. So they haven't had anything off the top with the bread. So I'll just say that they've just not been, interested, have they?
I reckon they'll go down tonight.
If I thought they were interested in potentially taking stuff off the top and stuff like that, I would have put zigs out. That's why I haven't bothered. We had another quick check on the depths around the margins of the island, and you have about 1 metre and then it drops off to about 1.5 meters, and I'm just on the edge of that shelf now, and you are as well, but down that right hand margin. I reset my left hand rig that was tight into the island to be a bit further away on that drop off, and I've just left my other rig, the one with the banded halibut pellet. But yeah, quick update, been really quiet. Could still get a nighttime bite.
I reckon so.
But I think tomorrow it's meant to be even hotter than it's been today. So I think we're going to have to try zigs.
Yeah,
or one
I'll
rod on a zig.
Tomorrow, definitely.
So I think that's the plan for tomorrow. I'll put a zig out. But that'll be in another video, folks. And if we don't catch anything, at least you've learnt a little bit about woodlands, tackle and lakes thirsk. I think on Google it comes up as woodlands tackle, so if you're trying to find the fishery, maybe try that first. I'll put a link to it in the description for you anyway. But yeah, we'll see how we get on tomorrow in part 2 of this video. Might do a little bit of a cook up before I end this one later on, but we'll see if we get any bites on this first night. Give you a little bit of an evening look at the lake. Obviously it's got the blue dye in to kill off any weed or algae growth. It's just got to a really nice temperature now. It's probably about 18 Celsius, something like that. But so far the rods and the bite alarms are quiet. I will just say, folks, another thing that people might not like about this fishery is, again, with it being so close to the holiday lodges and the bar and also, what else is there?
The cafe.
And the cafe. You get people walking around the lake randomly all the time. Dog walkers, just random people just having a look around. And
£30 a night, it's not what you...
No, it's not really what you pay for, is it? You pay for the privacy, and at the end of the day, you don't want people walking behind your bivvy and stuff like that, you know, eyeing up all your fishing tackle and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying how it's going to get nicked, but who knows, you know what I mean? Could do, couldn't it?
It doesn't make you feel comfortable.
No, it don't make you feel comfortable and like relaxed and like you're a bit on edge, you know what I mean? But just another thing to note if you want to visit this place. So Rob's just had a few single bleeps on his margin rod. The lake's coming alive. The lad up the top end, he's just had a run, and he didn't get to his rods quick enough, so that fish got off by the sounds of it. Right, folks, let's get these toasties on. Just about. Let's put a piece of cheddar on each one. I'm thinking tomorrow I might actually try closer in to this bank.
I think I will do.
Put a couple of different types of cheeses on here. Put the Gouda on. That was it, margin. The far margin.
Yeah, I've seen one back there earlier.
Look at this, folks. You can't tell me this does not look damn good.
Well, we do treaters.
Look at that. Let's try and just about squeeze them both on. Seal it up. Happy days. Got on the old Army Tech headlamp. You won't be able to see it. I'm going to put this on, you might be able to then. It is ultra bright. Quality bit of kit, to be fair. I'm impressed with it. Rob's into a fish, folks, and it is running. Take it easy, buddy. Take it easy, take it easy. I can't, it sounds like it's a long fish. I hope it's sturgeon for you. Let me get the net. That's it. I thought it was with the way it was taken away. Smoking that reel, mate.
You say it come up in front?
Yeah. That's easy. Nice and easy. I'm so glad you're on 18-pound line. Oh, that is going some, innit? You'll be able to get some ground on it now, I think. You might be able to turn your drag up a touch. We'll get this one, mate. I don't think it's finished yet, to be fair. Right, here we are. Oh, it might be, actually. Don't let it... It is a big one, I think. Just let it be in the water. Right, I've got it. Yes, Rob. Mate, that is heavy. That is so heavy. Yeah. Oh, well then, mate. Perfectly hooked in the bottom of the mouth.
Yes, mate.
Wow, that was some shredding me. That is genuinely probably one of the biggest fish I've ever seen out of water, that, mate. Don't know what to say. Okay.
I'll lift it when you tell me.
So, we're going to weigh it.
Yep,
go.
Cheers,
Cheers, lads. Can we get some more?
Yeah.
Right, buddy, one more time. How do you feel about that? That is, is that the best fish you've ever caught in your life? It must be.
Yep, that is.
It must be. We've done it. First night. We've came, we saw, we conquered, didn't we, mate?
Sturgeon. Wow.
I think that's the biggest in the lake, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I hope it is.
I'm pretty sure.
It is the best looking fish I've ever seen in my life.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Look at its head, man.
£36 was it?
Yeah, bang on.
Wasteling zeroed. That's it, hold it up to me. We're going to get it back in a second. We don't want it out of the water for too long. I bet you're glad you kept that one down the margin, like I said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were going to move it, weren't you?
Well, I was going to have a look at the other side, but
yeah.
Didn't need to.
I think I'm going to put both of mine down the margin now.
I would. Well, it took my other one out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. Yeah, I had to get that one out of the water. Look at the back on it.
It is such an absolute it's cliche, isn't it? But that is a dinosaur. And it's a different one to the...
And it genuinely is a dinosaur.
Yeah.
They're obviously of the lineage of bony fishes, sturgeon. Cartilaginous fishes.
Just gonna...
Yeah, just get some water over the gills. It's still quite a mild, humid day, so there's not much oxygen in the water.
This is
just pull it over the gills like that.
Not the same one from
And you'll know
either.
when they're ready because they'll kick. You try her, see if she'll go.
Yeah, well, the one I watched earlier, it was the 24 pound one. It took about 10 minutes for it to go.
I think she's just enjoying the cuddle, mate.
Yeah, so am I. Is this the big one, you think?
I think it is, yeah. I don't think they go as big as what they said.
No.
I think it's been misweighed.
I don't know. Somebody did wear a 40.
Maybe
This
it's not.
could be it.
Now, I just want to take a minute to say, folks, the fishery rules state, do not enter the water under any circumstances. But it's my opinion that for the fish safety and health, this is the only way to release fish of this size. You have to support the body, and this is all about fish care. We're looking after this fish, so we've bent the rules slightly. We know what we're doing. We're safe. Rob's got his waders on. We've checked the depth, and we're going to make sure this fish goes back safely and recovered.
£36.
Oh, she's going.
I don't think so. She didn't really give a kick, it was just more a little shuffle. I really don't want to let her go too soon, that's all.
Come. Mate, well in. Well in.
That's off that margin gravel patch I found earlier.
Lovely. Right, I'm going to do mine. So I'm actually going to put one of these rods just out from this tree here, down here on the left. The reason I didn't put it down the margin before is that dead rotten fish was down there, and I thought it would be the wrong thing to do to put a rig down there, but obviously with Rob having that sturgeon in the margin, it makes sense for me to put a rig in the margin, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get a PVA bag down there. So the feed that drew that sturgeon in was house pellet, glugged with Westys glaze, pure liver. For everybody's information. And the hook bait was a DNA bait, not
DNA half tone.
DNA bait's half tone.
I'll show you the yellow one.
One of these. I don't really think it matters about the hook bait though, mate. I think that would have hoovered anything up.
It would just do.
Being honest.
It were over a bed of pellet as well.
I would bet money on it being that fish moving around still around here. Probably eating. There. Did you see that? I look at it on the camera. I'm going to turn my light off because that was a different sturgeon.
Was it?
Yeah. It just nosed head and body out of the water. Yeah. Whatever that fish was, folks, is what's been getting us liners.
There you go.
Yeah, mate. Oh. It's literally the swimming around taking our lines. Morning, folks. Pretty uneventful night, to be honest with you. We've had a couple of savage liners after that sturgeon, and a couple of recent ones as well. I had like 3 or 4 bleep, and Rob's tip's just been dragged around. So there's obviously sturgeons still moving through. I think we've potentially got a chance of one or another fish up till maybe about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, before it starts getting warm. How'd you sleep, pal?
Not very well.
Did you not?
No. I had a few hours, but I was excited after I got that sturgeon.
Yeah, I had a few hours.
I think that sturgeon got caught yesterday from that other fella at about 11, so I think we've got a chance of a carp as well this morning and another sturgeon. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, made up.
Oh, we're still getting liners now, so it's good signs.
Yeah. Let's rock and roll.
We're just going to get this coffee down, or some of this coffee down, folks, and then we'll give you a bit of a summary of the last 24 hours. Rob's just having a bit of a recast of his left-hand rod.
Just there.
Well folks, it's the morning of the second day of our 48-hour session at Woodlands Tackle and Lakes Thirsk, and productive session so far, mate.
I'd say so, yeah. Really good night.
We've done exactly what we've come out to do, but this brings us to the end of the first part of this video. So, what do you need to say, Rob?
If you like and subscribe and you want to see more of me catching bigger fish than Westy, hit the like button. It's somewhere around here.
Hit the like button and the subscribe button. And you won't miss that part 2. So I'll probably put it up the week after I post part 1. So you won't have to wait very long. But what a fish, mate. Yeah. How do you feel about it? That is a fish for a lifetime, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. If you look at the when you see the video of it, guys, it were just insane. My face is just like pure shock and horror. The fight was insane. It ran me ragged all down this little bay that we've got here. I had a real tight clutch on and it was stripping line, flat rodding me. And just to see its tail, I was terrified. I was like, oh, it's a sturgeon, here we go.
You had it cranked right up the clutch, and it was like tick, 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 and it's like you couldn't stop. If you wanted to go, you got to let it go. I
was struggling. Luckily, I don't think there's many snags around the boundaries of the lake, so they've done a good job on that one.
I'm glad you used an 18-pound line, and I'm glad that you had a size 4 barbless on, because that size 4 really nailed it.
Yeah,
that wide gape.
Bang bottom at lip.
Yeah.
The hook hold was absolutely insane. It gave me like the opportunity just to like try and get it turned and give it a bit more stick. I didn't want it wiping other people's rods out and stuff.
It was getting to the point where it was in the next peg, so you had to do something about it. But you turned it, and it come back out into the deeper water. Obviously, hopefully I've got some really good footage, and I think I have. I think I've got some good footage of the fight and all the rest of it. Obviously, it's hard when it's dark in a fishery, but hopefully we got some good footage of the battle with that 36-pound monster of a sturgeon, mate.
Yeah, and first and PB, obviously.
Yeah. So, obviously, we weighed it. It's been out in the last couple of weeks at 38 pounds, but we weighed that accurately as anything, didn't we?
Yeah, I wet my sling before and then weighed it and zeroed it and then weighed it.
It's been weighed out at 38, but we weighed it at 36 there. Now, I doubt it's lost 2 pounds in
I wouldn't have thought
a couple of weeks, but yeah. What are your thoughts on the fishery, mate? Obviously, this first 24 hours is a bit of a fishery review. It may sound like I've said some negative points about the fishery, and I honestly don't. It's not a bad fishery at all. I just don't think it'll be for everybody. I think probably the biggest negative to the fishery is the proximity to the caravan site, and you're getting non-anglers walking around it all the time.
Yeah.
And that isn't actually anything to do with the fishery, is it, I believe?
I'm not sure, no, I don't think so. But for me, it is a little bit annoying because you pay £33 a night.
It's not cheap.
To fish, or £50 for a double. And then you're not getting your private fishing experience. Whereas I fish my regular club lake is a park lake, so I'm used to it. So I don't really get annoyed about it. But when you're paying that sort of money, like for a night, you want it to be quite private and not having to talk to dog walkers.
I'll have a look on the way out whether they've got signs up saying no non-anglers beyond this point. I think they should. Yeah, so that's the only thing I would say about the fishery. Privacy is a little bit restricted, and they don't really get back to your emails. No. So if they don't use that email address, you just need to get it removed.
But if you're a beginner and you want a chance of a cracking fish, I think there is some carp in here. There is definitely some 20s.
Yeah.
And you want a chance at one of these sturgeon. Like all the pegs, like the decent to cast, so you've got loads of features. The bottom's like generally quite clear. you can find some really good margin spots and just walk down and plop your rod in and walk all the way back up to your peg.
Yeah.
So on that point, it is a really good little place. But I think just during the day yesterday, the heat killed it off for us a little bit. So luckily we had that sturgeon at night.
So the next video in this little 48-hour session will mostly be about how we're going to approach this fishery in hot weather. So we've gotten used to it on the first day. We've learnt quite a few things. I would say the close margins are probably better than the island margins. So if you come in fishing it, I would, if you want to have a rod to the island, by all means give it a go. But I think you are better literally just a rod length out. How the fishery goes is it plateaus for about a metre deep.
Yeah.
And then you get a straight drop down into a bowl, and then it's the same up towards the islands. Yeah.
Similar on the other side.
You've probably got a metre and a half away from the islands and the margins, where you've got, it's like a metre and a half by a metre and a half deep away from. So you've got that square there all the way around the outside of the lakes where it's shallow, and then it goes down into that deep pool. And if you're after the sturgeon, that's where them sturgeon are. They're patrolling the edge of that deep pool. So that's what I think we're going to probably target tonight.
Yeah, definitely for the night. Might be a pinch of carp on a zig later on today.
We're going to try and pinch a carp.
Yeah.
But they weren't really taking anything.
They weren't interested yesterday.
Like even the young lads down the top end, they were being cheeky and fishing bread on the top, and they couldn't even pick any up on that. So I don't think that we'll manage anything on the zigs, but we'll see.
Yeah, give it a go.
We'll see. We can only give it a go. I'm still going to keep one rod down the margin here just in case.
Definitely.
Big old Stephen Sturgeon comes along and hoovers up. We need that big diamond back now, don't we?
Yeah, that's the one that I really wanted, but I'm not complaining. I'll take the other one.
Right, folks, look, we're going to wrap the video up there, otherwise it's going to be about 3 hours long, but I really hope you enjoyed watching. Like Rob said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next Westys Angling.